Hello students, how are you? In the last video we were discussing about the soil pollution, and the topic that we were discussing was the causes of soil pollution. I hope it is clear to you. Now the next topic that we are going to discuss in this video is the effect of soil pollution. Okay, let's start the effects of soil pollution. First, it severely affects the growth of the plant. Second, it can lead to infertility of soil and thus would restrict agriculture on such land. Okay, because various chemicals and waste materials are always mixed in the soil, so it results in decreasing the fertility of the soil and eventually results in the growth of the plants, because plants cannot get the nutrients that is required because of those harmful substances that are mixed in the soil. Third one, the fertilizers decay the quality of the soil. It can affect the health of human beings who consume food grown in soil which has large amount of fertilizers and pesticides mixed in it. So not only it affects the soil quality and the effect of and the growth of the plants, it also affects the health of human beings. How? When they consume the food that is grown in soil which has large amount of fertilizers and pesticides in it, because you know that once the fertilizer and pesticides are mixed in the soil, then they are uptaken by the plants. Once they are uptaken by the plants, then the vegetables that we eat, they also contains that some chemicals in it. Okay, so that's why it may be harmful for the health of the human being also. It can change the structure of soil, thus decaying the growth of useful bacteria and other microorganisms in the soil. Okay, so it may also change how the soils look by decaying the growth of useful bacteria and other microorganisms in the soil. Clear? So these are the effects of soil pollution. Read these points and then we will be moving forward. Soil erosion. What is soil erosion? It is a process in which upper layer of the soil gets washed away, thus leading to degradation in the soil's quality. Now, these are the human activities that are causing soil degradation. It includes deforestation, agriculture, fuel wood gathering, and overgrazing. Now you can see that the most of the soil degradation is caused due to two reasons: deforestation and overgrazing. And these are the activities that can be controlled by human beings. Okay, deforestation is cutting off more and more trees, and overgrazing by the animals can be controlled. Next is, how can the roots of plants prevent soil erosion? The roots of the plant bind the soil together and prevent the winds and flowing water to sweep away the soil particles. The plants also lead to the movement of water inside the soil and allow it to reach the deeper layer, leading to an increase in the water retention of the soil and the underground water levels. I told you when we were discussing about soil that what do the plants do? The big plants, their soil, they are strong, so they bind the soil particles together, and once they bind the soil particles together, so whether it is wind or water, it does not allow the soil particles to get flow with them. Okay, so this prevents the soil erosion, and secondly, it is very important that because there is no movement of soil, so the water moves inside the soil. Okay, the plant also lead to the movement of water inside the soil, so that the water can reach deep inside, and because of that the underground water level is also managed, or you can say it is increased. Clear? So in this way the roots of the plants prevent soil erosion? Okay, so after discussing all the components like soil, air, and water, we have discussed about soil, soil pollution, then air, air pollution, water, and water pollution. You all know that they are very important for sustaining the life on the earth, and when these of the three interact, then the region that is formed is known as biosphere, where the living things or the living organisms sustain their life. Okay, the next topic in this chapter is another very important topic, biochemical cycles. Now, what is a biochemical cycle? A biochemical cycle refers to the natural cycle of the earth through which a chemical substance or matter moves through the biotic and abiotic components of the earth. These components always interact with each other and form a stable system in biosphere. Okay, very important. Again, what is a biochemical cycle? It refers to a natural cycle of earth through which the chemical substance or matter moves through biotic and abiotic, means living and non-living components of the earth, and these components always interact with each other and form a stable system in the biosphere. Mainly there are four types of cycles: the water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, and the oxygen cycle. So the first one that we are going to start is water cycle, and you already have studied it. Okay, so we will be starting with water cycle. Now, this diagram depicts the water cycle. What happens? The water from rivers, lakes, streams, oceans, etc., due to the sun's heat, it gets evaporated. Okay. Now, evaporation is the process. How does it takes place? You already have studied in the first chapter that evaporation occurs due to or it is the change of water into water vapors, but below its boiling point, and it occurs due to the heat. Okay. So how does the heat come? Because of the heat radiations of the sun. So the water get evaporates and move upwards. Okay. Now up in the atmosphere, you all know that the temperature is very low over there. So the temperature is low, that leads to the condensation of water vapor into water droplets. Okay, and this leads to the formation of the cloud. Okay, when evaporation and after evaporation condensation takes place, so those water droplets are present in the clouds after condensation. Due to the wind, there may be a movement of the clouds, or otherwise if there is no wind, then the cloud may stay over there only. Okay, after some time, when the cloud becomes more heavy, means after some amount it cannot hold much of the rain, then what happens? There is the precipitation occurs. Precipitation means the coming down of rain means that water droplets onto the earth's surface. If the temperature is very low, then sometimes the precipitation may occur in the form of snow, and that is referred to as snowfall. Okay, so the precipitation may occur in the two forms, that is rainfall and the snowfall. Clear? And finally, again after snowfall and the rainfall, the water again comes back to its original place, that is whether it was in the seas, lakes, or other parts. Clear? So three important things in the water cycle: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. The water cycle refers to the continuous movement of water from the sky to the ground and then back again. The water cycle can be divided into different stages. Evaporation: water from earth evaporates into water vapors and travels up to the atmosphere. Second, condensation: the water cools down and forms clouds up in the atmosphere. Third, rainfall, snowfall, or precipitation: the water then falls back to the ground. So these three conditions are very important. What happens? Water cycle refers to the continuous movement of water from the sky to the ground and then back again. It can be divided into different stages: evaporation, condensation, rainfall, or precipitation. Water from earth evaporates into water vapors and travels up to the atmosphere. Condensation: the water cools down and forms clouds up in the atmosphere. rainfall or snowfall, the water then falls back to the ground. The water that falls on the earth and travels through different pathways before it finally falls back into the sea and oceans via rivers. Some of the water is also being utilized by the plants, animals, and human beings present on the earth. But the journey of the water continues in the form of water cycle. You know that this is the phenomena of every year, that the water evaporates, rainfall comes, and then every year it keeps on continuing. So the water, again I will say, that falls on earth, it travels through different pathway, whether it will be rivers, lakes, etc., and finally falls back into seas and oceans via rivers. Some of the water utilized by plants, animals that are present on the earth, and the journey of water continues in the form of water cycle. Here, so this was quite simple, water cycle. Then the next cycle that will come, that is like nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, that are not, I would say, tough, but they are a good one. Okay, you need to understand them better. So we will be continuing with that nitrogen cycle in the next video. Okay, students, till then you keep studying and take care of yourselves. Thank you and have a nice day.